Hi everyone, it's Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. This week what I'd like to talk about is a pretty simple but really impactful concept. It's that small habits don't add up, they compound. Now, if you're like me, this is the time of year where I start to devise about the things that I want to create over the next year and the goals that I want to achieve and the intentions that I have for the next year. And having that vision is incredibly powerful. But oftentimes, it's not just the clarity of the vision that gets us through. It's having the clarity of the vision that's backed up with small, consistent habits that we do on a daily basis to get us where we want to be. The fact of the matter is when something is too big, we can actually be adverse to it, right? It's like, oh man, it's so big I can't even get there. Or it's so big I'll get to it later, right? Because you think you have time. And what happens is the year ends and we get nowhere close to where we want to. So I was introduced to this concept. I recently was exposed to a book by a guy named James Clear, and he wrote a book called Atomic Habits. And he talked about how small habits don't add up, they compound. And specifically, what the example he gave was this, which I thought was amazingly powerful. He said, if we just increase our performance by 1% per day, 1% per day, at the end of the year, we will actually net a 37 times gain of where we were before. Our performance will increase by 37 times. Hi, Juliana. Great to have you on here. Now here's what's really cool. If you take that out to 2 years, it doesn't double to 74. It actually continues to grow exponentially to 1,400 times greater than you were 2 years prior. And if you extrapolate that out 5 years, get ready for it, 76 million times greater just by a 1% increase per day. Now think about that. Think about just how small habits could add up, or not add, but compound to get some great results for you. Now, it works from the positive perspective. It also works in the negative perspective. I often talk with my martial arts students who are getting ready to test for their black belt about staying on track with their requirements to get ready for their test. And I warn them about getting off even 1 degree. And think about this. If a pilot is getting ready to take a commercial airliner from LAX in Los Angeles to Honolulu, and he or she lifts off the plane and they're just 1 degree off. They're 1 degree off south. They're not going to end up in Honolulu. They're probably going to end up in Auckland, New Zealand, if they're lucky, or maybe someplace in the Pacific Ocean. The point of the matter is that it's just that 1 degree that can compound over time. It's not that one donut. It's not that one cigarette. It's not that one sugary drink. It's that one donut, that one cigarette, that one sugary drink done daily, each week, then each month, then each year, that compounds to really impact our health. So, I've got some ideas here, not only that I use for myself, but I also use for my coaching clients to help us keep on track with some really, really awesome small habits to get us where we want to go. And the first thing is break it down. Anytime we're ready to embark on something big, it can be overwhelming. So what I always recommend to people, and I do it for myself, is how can you break it down into small, digestible chunks and then develop habits to support those on a daily basis. The next is, number 2, is to pre-commit. Now, what do I mean by that? Many times what we do is we say we're going to embark upon a habit and we wake up in the morning and then we decide if we're going to do it or not. But what champions understand is we pre-commit to those commitments. So if you want to, let's say, start a meditation practice, you commit to yourself the day before that the first thing when you get up in the morning, you're going to go to your meditation pill and you're going to meditate. In fact, you put it right in the middle of your bedroom where you might even trip over it. If you forget, you commit the day before so that as soon as you wake up, you're ready to move into your healthy habit. Number 3 is schedule it. The things that are most important to us, I think, is so important for us to schedule because nature abhors a vacuum. And if you've got a hole in your calendar, you know it's going to be taken up by something. But if you've got something that's really important to you, let's say you want to have a weekly date night with your sweetie, put it on a calendar and then work everything around it. It becomes an anchor in your regular schedule and you work other things around that. And you can just watch how your relationship compounds in terms of its lovingness and its connectedness because you do that consistently. Next, what you want to do is you want to reward yourself. So, you want to be able to take some time and say, hey, great job for doing what you said you were going to do. If you said you're going to meditate, say at the 30-day mark, you do something that's fun. I realized this when I was teaching martial arts, and I devised a system where I would put little stripes of electrical tape on the ends of colored belts when students were making progress to their ranks. And the kids were certainly excited by it. But who was even more excited? The adults were, right? So we're all big kids anyway, so make sure you reward yourself. And then finally, do this. Make sure that you are finding people to hang around where healthy habits are the norm. Right? Not the exception, but the norm. I think it's Jim Rohn that says that we're an average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So find people that will support those habits. Find people that are having healthy habits and productive habits in their life as well. And who knows, they might even become your partner in taking you to the next level. So there you have it, everyone. Thanks so much for listening this week. There are some of my ideas on how small habits don't add up, they compound. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you comment, you like, you share, and we'll see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.